I just had a weekend of answering emails and Facebook messages and also some coaching calls and introductions with people to help them primarily with, again, relationship challenges. And I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't know if we just have lack of training, if we don't know this stuff. I mean, I know that in my education, until I got private education and really invested in it myself, I didn't learn anything about this stuff, so I guess it's just a lack of education. People just don't understand. But it's also interesting because I got some clients who are really, really into the personal development space, really into the spirituality, new age stuff kind of thing, into the yoga phase and all that stuff. But they still get themselves caught in these basic dynamics of behavior, which causes them to get frustrated and pissed off at their partners and have anger and resentment and want to leave and all this other stuff. So just because of all this frustration, I find myself answering these questions all the time. And so I'm going to be putting some videos out to answer these questions on the website. It is being kind of refixed here and everything else. So, but I'm also thinking about putting a course together, a kind of a relationship basics course, to make sure that, you know, if you're having a problem, you can just open it up and look at it and maybe have a workbook or online videos, whatever, and just be like, oh, okay, that's what I'm having. That's my problem right now. Oh, now I get it. Oh, that's what I got to do. Okay, cool. And just to keep us stable, because eventually, you know, in a relationship, eventually you kind of get in harmony with a person and you kind of just start working together. But to get to that point takes a lot of work. And I know that really well. I've had some real challenges in my relationships in that way. And it's taken me a heck of a lot of time to be able to understand these basics in a way to understand that they actually have a huge impact on the advancement of your relationship. So from basics to advancement, I think that's wise. So if you think that'd be interesting, if you know some people in your life that would be interested in having something like that, if you yourself would be interested, please let me know. Just comment below and say, hey man, that'd be amazing. I'd love to have a relationship basics course that would help me learn how to have more fulfilling relationships. So I'd be interested to hear your feedback on that. If I get enough people interested, hey, maybe I'll build it and we'll get something out there. Anyway, I wanted to share some insights on my weekend and what came up. And again, it's basically the basics. And so here's kind of a scenario of what happens here. So I had a client a few months ago, I'll reference this story. And she's cheating in a relationship. She's married to the guy, but she's cheating, finds herself having an affair. But the person that she's with is not fulfilling her values. So she doesn't understand what's going on. And so she gets on the phone with me. I said, okay, so what does your husband do most of the time? She says, well, he's in the basement most of the time. I said, okay, so what does he do down there? And she says, well, he's always on his computer. I said, well, what else? What's he doing on his computer? She's like, well, he's watching, you know, show or stock market stuff, and he's always watching the TV too, watching these stupid sports shows, stupid golf shows, stupid hunting shows, stupid fishing shows, stupid this, stupid that. And this is so common. I find this so common with people. So basically I just told her, I said, okay, so can you see that everything that is important to your husband you consider stupid? And I had to stop her in her frame, because most people don't realize this. Most people don't realize that they are judging the other person so much that person who they're judging, thus, because they're being trained to be hated on, eventually says, I can't do this anymore. I love you, but I can't interact with you. So I'm just going to stay in my basement all day and watch my shows, which are interesting to me because I can't do that with you because you think they're stupid, you think I'm stupid, and so why the hell would I want to interact with you? And why the hell would I want to show any intimacy to you in the same way? So I had to stop her in this and just say, can you see that you think everything your husband does or is interested in is stupid? She says, well, yeah, of course it is. I said, no. It's stupid according to your values, but can you see that's important to him? And she had to really get her head into that. And this is just a basic kind of frame of what happens. Most people project their values, what they consider to be important to them, onto other people, and then expect those people to live inside their values, and when they don't, the person who's doing the projecting gives themselves permission to piss on that person and get angry and frustrated and resentful, and then call that person stupid or wrong or bad or whatever according to me and my righteousness, because I'm so friggin' drawn by my values, I'm not able to see or consider anyone else to be important. And so as a result, I'm the one who always feels alone. I'm the one who's always frustrated. I'm the one who's always pissed off at the world and other people. and I'm always the one kind of telling people what to do, and seeing the chaos there ensue. So what happens here is value projection, and so many people do this, and it's so interesting what happens, because when you do this on a very consistent basis, a few things happen. One, you're training the individual to respond to you in a way which is defensive. So you're basically saying, okay, every single time I interact with you, I'm assuming you're going to do this. When you don't, and you actually follow the values you're going to follow, I now get pissed at you. So you're training them to not want to interact with you. That's number one. Number two, and this is the real important one, you're actually not in a relationship with that person. And this is a piece that I find so common, and we all get caught in this so often. Most people who are having relationship unfulfillment or challenges actually don't know who they're in a relationship with. I know I'm very good at that. I know people who are very good at that, and I think everyone who's having a challenge with relationships is having that issue, because what we do is, rather than pay attention to what they're actually doing, what they're actually interested in, trying to engage ourselves in that and try and see how we can help them to do that so that they can feel comfortable and open up to us and actually do things together and consider doing stuff for our values. What we do is we get into a relationship with our fantasy of what they're supposed to be, which is our own internal projection of what we think they should be doing according to us, the world according to me. And so then what happens is we get in the relationship with a fantasy, and then we don't actually pay attention to who the person actually is. And no wonder we have relationship challenges. No wonder you find yourself not being able to communicate to your partner. These are the basic reasons why. And this was exactly what happened over the weekend. I had a few clients basically bringing me the same issue, and it's the same solution. You just got to go in there and look at their reality. You got to clear up the fantasies, and you got to look at what actually is. Most people don't do that. Most people are just so focused on getting their needs met and my little fantasy met that they never pay attention to who they're actually in a relationship with. And this is what happens, and this is what causes perpetual relationship unfulfillment time and time and time and time again, because you're never going to find anyone in the world except yourself who can actually match that fantasy that you're projecting, and probably not even yourself, because if your fantasy has no drawbacks, you're living in an illusion, because the universe has a balance of yin and yang. You can look back in thousands of years of philosophy to see that, and that means it has a balance of positive and negative. What people do in their illusions is they project only positive fantasies onto it, and then the universe says, I'm not going to give you that. I'm going to keep giving you the shitter so that it can piss you off enough to give up on your fantasy and appreciate reality. Hey, nice little wisdom piece there. So, what people have to do is actually understand that what they're asking for is usually not real. What they're asking for is a one-sided version of this individual, and that person can't possibly do that. However, it's interesting what happens when you go in and break that apart. And what I do very often is I say, well, okay, if my significant other, if my girlfriend or my wife, whatever you want to call it, if they were, or boyfriend if you're that, whatever, if they were the way I wanted them to be, what would be the drawbacks? And here's the thing. Most people say this. They say, oh, there wouldn't be any. And that's the problem. The problem is you're so focused on what you think they should be, you don't give a or you don't give up. Believe that, about who they actually are. And so why would that person give a about you? Think about that. Anyway, that's a little bit of basics in relationships, a little bit of wisdom, and there's ways to get around that, but you got to do the work, and you actually got to want to do it. You actually have to want to do it and recognize that you're being self-righteous, you're being self-interested, you're being selfish, and you're not actually willing to pay attention or embrace the other person the way you want to be embraced. These are some of the relationship basics that I think get in the way the most, and hopefully that one resonates with you, and that was really fun to do. So thanks so much for that one, and thanks for watching again. Please like the video, share the video if you want, comment below, please, start a discussion. I love doing that, and message me, send me an email if you want to do some one-on-one coaching with me, and yeah, because I think we can all do better in our relationships, and I think everybody deserves some potential of love, especially you. And I think that these little things that we do get in the way, and so clearing that stuff out goes a hell of a long way for you to be able to appreciate and embrace relationships in your life. So thanks so much for that. I'll see you guys in the next one.